Good evening, folks. I'm back from base camp, and shit has arrived here, and we're gonna unbox it. So, what is it? Well, let's say this is the unboxing slash first impression slash review. I don't think I'm gonna do a full review for this, so let's call it the review. But the first impression unboxing review, whatever, of the Harley Benton, I don't even know what it's called. Why do I even have this here? Well, first of all, I have this here because you guys asked and asked and asked and asked. Can you tell us if the Harley Benton Vintage 30 loaded box is good? Speaker cab box is good. And the answer is, I don't know. Speaker cabs are so difficult. It's in the room, then compared with other speaker cabs, then compared with your amp, and extremely difficult. So, I can tell you this much. Without even unboxing it, it's a fucking bargain. It is called the HB-G112 Vintage. And that simply means it's a 112 cab, relatively small, loaded with the Vintage 30. Now here's the fun thing. Right now, as of the speaking of this mouth, it is 119 euro. Well, if you've looked into buying a Vintage 30 speaker itself, that clocks in at 130 euro. So this is 10 bucks cheaper in the cab, in the actual wooden box, than the speaker itself. So if you're looking into buying a Vintage 30 speaker, it makes more sense to actually buy this and take out the speaker and have a seat for your backyard, and you save 10 bucks. So how that is possible, I don't know. But maybe it even sounds good. The reason why it's also here is because GLB, is that correct? Yes, GLB speakers from Italy has sent me two caps. The yellow one and the red one. Let me show you. Ugh. These are caps made out of tone woods. This is sapele. And I think the yellow one, let me check. Ooh. Sapele and oak are the standards, but I have sapele and maple. Maple is the other grade. It's a higher grade. So these are incredibly small, pretty lightweight, extremely custom, and made out of solid tone woods. According to GLB, that makes a difference. And I'm gonna do a GLB speaker comparison. The thing is, they're loaded with Vintage 30s, and I don't actually have a Vintage 30 speaker made out of plywood, and we wanna compare it to plywood. I have this one right there. It says Joyo on it, but that's just the logo that we slapped on there for the trade show in Frankfurt, because that's actually one made out of Spanish cedar, I think. I got that cap. It's open back, so you can't compare them in anyway. It's an open back speaker. I got that from eBay a couple of years ago, and I slapped a Vintage 30 in there. It's gonna sound different because of the open back. And obviously this is not one that we can compare these two in terms of this against plywood, because it's not plywood, it's also solid wood. So I don't have a Vintage 30 loaded cab with plywood. That's why I have this here, because this is going to be a good comparison. An incredibly inexpensive Vintage 30 loaded 112 against these absolutely, I have no idea how much they are, handcrafted boutique cabs from Italy. Why can't we compare with this right now? That's gonna be a separate video. Well, very simple reason. It is. Let me show you. First of all, this is insane. These screws are actually not screwed into the wood, they're screwed into threads. So that is extremely nice, extremely well done. And I can't get this out. Oh, this is so nice. Tolex in the back. Come on. Yeah, I'm getting it. Oh yeah, oh yeah. So, one of the reasons I can't test this is, see the problem? Apparently, the apprentice sent them out. Bad choice. And it comes without cables. But that gives us a chance to actually look at the speaker that we're talking about. They simply, the apprentice forgot to put cables in. The cables will arrive tomorrow. I'll plug them in. All good. Not a big deal. Just a little bit of an oversight, GLB people. It's funny. Not a big deal. So this is the Vintage 30. And as you can see, the cab actually is not an awful lot bigger than the speaker itself. It's actually just perfect size for a 112. It is a 112 cab, if you know what I mean. Oh. So we will test this when I have the cables. I'm gonna shove this back in here. But it gave me a nice chance to actually show you the speaker we're talking about. So all the ones that we have here have the Vintage 30 in it. And if we want to check out the Harley Benton, it makes sense to compare. And we have my Spanish cedar loaded vintage, Spanish cedar cab loaded with the Vintage 30. We have the GLB maple right there, loaded with the Vintage 30. And we have the Sur, slightly bigger, Sur 112, relatively lightweight, that has a warehouse veteran 30 in it, which is kind of supposed to be veteran 30, Vintage 30. It's supposed to be a Vintage 30, similar. So no, not an exact comparison. We're gonna check it out anyway. But first thing is, let's unbox! So I have the Joyo Mjolnir on top, and a Ditto looper on the floor, so it's always the same riff. And we're miking it with the Sennheiser E609 because that is what you do. Ah, that's big. And that's what she said. Sorry, I had to. Phil X told me the joke is over and I'm not supposed to do it anymore. Fuck you, Phil! No, he's nice. But maybe he's right. But, maybe you should fuck off. I don't know. No, he's probably right and nice. And, he should not fuck off. Don't fuck off, Phil. Ooh, it is open back. Well, obviously, this handle is not quite as nice as the leather GLB handle. It's also all about, you know, how does it feel? And there it is. Celestion Vintage 30. 8 ohm. The GLB are 16. 14 kilograms. Don't know why we need this. It's a speaker. Very nice. It's not super mega thick plywood, but it's okay. Toe legs feels okay-ish. Nice corners. I mean, try to build this yourself. You're not gonna, just with the corners and the wood and the toe legs, you're gonna end up at probably $50 or something like that. There's no way to actually do this for $120. No, absolutely no way. Wait, did they cable that? Let me see if this one's cabled. Yes. Here we go. It says Celestion equipped at the bottom. It has Harley Benton on it. And I gotta admit, that makes it slightly less exclusive because we just know Harley Benton is the mega bargain basement company. And for many years, when we looked at the logo, as at least people in Europe, when we looked at the logo, it was like, with the guitars, they completely turned it around. The guitars are great. We're going to do a shitload of Harley Benton demos 2 weeks from now. So there's stuff coming before Christmas, and fun things that you don't know about, but I do! And still, I look at him like, nah. But let's not be an ass about it. Let's listen. Maybe it's nah. Maybe it's like, dude. Well, we already know, dude, because the speaker itself is more expensive than the whole damn thing. It is a bargain, period. Actually, no matter what it sounds like, because if you want to get to the speaker, just buy this. Take it out. But maybe it works. Let's see. I'm going to remove the Cora, because I don't want to move it around. I'm going to remove the Cora and just, actually I should probably test it with the Cora, so that it sounds the same wherever I am, because right now the position of the speakers might make it. I'm gonna use the Deeflexx Cora. I know it's fucking expensive, but it works. So, quit your yapping. I know it's expensive. The test guitar here is a Harley Benton SC550 Flabadum Bambadum. Lemon Drop, is that what it's called? This is not the one that's upgraded with extra pickups, with Rubitsal pickups. This one goes out of tune more than the Paradise Ember Flame. Maybe needs new strings. This has the original Wilkinson pickups in it. So let's check out what the speaker sounds like. Oh, I guess I have to put the mic in front of it. First impression is, it sounds like a vintage 30 loaded speaker, and awesome. I absolutely cannot in any way, freaking form or whatever, find anything wrong with that sound. So, but what do I know? Because let's compare it to extremely way more expensive ones. The Joyo, which is hand-built, it's not a Joyo, it's a Henning, because I bought that cab for about 150 bucks off eBay, and then the speaker, so we're looking at about 270, and you gotta put it together yourself. Then the GLB, I have no freaking clue, could be anywhere between 300 to 1,000. I'm gonna find out for you in the GLB review. And then the Sir, I can tell you, is ridiculous at $599. It's a 112 for $599. It's a good one, but it's also, what the fuck? Because the speaker in there costs 90 bucks. So, where does the $599 come from? So, let's record a nice rock riff and we move shit around. Oh, I hate this. So, well, obviously you can't hear what I'm hearing in the room because you know what? You're not in the room with me. You're invited. Come and have coffee with me. Anytime. Just let me know beforehand. So, here's my problem. If I'm gonna say I like the Harley Benton speaker, you're gonna say, well, you work with Thomann, and he's totally bought by Harley Benton, and it can't possibly be, and nah. If I say I don't like it and it's shit, it's not what I think. So here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna be honest, and you gotta the fuck deal with it. How about that? Yeah, my build yourself Spanish cedar blah, Joyo logo cab is thin. It very clearly has the Harley Benton, I don't know what you heard in the recording, it has the Harley Benton cab characteristics, but thins out in the base. It's less deep and very open in the back. I never really liked it. I wanted to make myself a nice 112 Vintage 30 cab for the metally kind of stuff, and I failed. It's not the right thing. The Harley Benton cab sounds fucking good. It sounds full. It's got bite. It's maybe... No, it's just everything is there. Let's go to the SUR 600 euro cab. That sounds duller. It sounds muddier. It sounds less high-endy, less defined. And out of the four, my least favorite. Weird. Now, why did I buy it? Well, I bought the SUR Badger. It had the same Tolex and the SUR logo. We like matching cabs. We do. How fucking weird are we? I spent $600 on the thing, even though there wasn't like, oh my god, the sound of this cab is insane. No, I liked the amp. I wanted something matching, and I spent $600 on it. Yes, please call me crazy. Comments right now. Now let's go to the Super Mega Boutique Maple GLB. Frankly, I don't think it's better than the Harley Benton. It's different. Not better, but different. First of all, it's much smaller and still can pack the punch of the Harley Benton. And it's rounder. It's warmer. It's very warm, which is weird because it's maple. So I can't wait to hear the Sapele. And really make a comparison between the three. Whether I can capture that with a mic, I don't know. We're gonna have to do the same thing we're doing here, compare them, and then you'll be the judge, or maybe I'll be the judge and I'll just let you know, because you have to kind of be in the room with the cab. We'll see. I'm thinking close mic, you'll probably hear the speaker, which is the same in all of them, except for the Veteran 30, which is very similar. So the GLB is a good cab. It's very small. It's super luxurious, super boutique. And it's a tad warmer. The Harley Benton sounds a little bit rawer. GLB more refined. Harley Benton, bit more rock and roll maybe. Bit more dirt and grit in it. But this much. So yes, the bottom line would be the Harley Benton 112 for $120, which is cheaper than the speaker in itself that's in it. You pretty much get the cab for free, and they also give you $10 on top of it, if you know what I mean. Highly recommended from this guy, but of course you're gonna say I'm trying to promote Harley Benton, and fuck you if you do, because I only promote what I actually can promote. I only say if it's good, if it's good. If you don't believe me, please watch my Harley Benton Power Attenuator demo. I ripped that thing a new one because it's not good. That is good. Spend $600, $700 on your cab like some idiots, or get that. We're gonna check out the GLB Maple Sapele against the Harley Benton, and for you tone aficionados, see what the differences are. I'm really curious to see once the cables arrive. I don't want to be that intern. He probably had a rather tough day yesterday. I'm sorry, man. You forgot the cables. So, see ya.
den Foto anguckt. Okay. Hey, ja. Ist hübsch.